although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. The best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
see you in Power Partners.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. It is Tuesday, Time to Shine show with my lovely co-host, Miss Barbara.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you wonderful. Yes.
You do know that I love my cat, right?
Yeah, that's our mascot.
Our mascot.
Uh-oh.
Right now I want to hit her.
Oh, no. You can't hit the mascot now.
She chewed through my cord to my Yeti.
What? Oh my
God.
No, that's a whole different take now. Yeah, that's not good. That's expensive.
That's at least just the cord. So I'm gonna have to go over and buy a new cord. But it just
no.
I was like, Why is
no.
I mean, because it was like, what is that noise? Because I turned it on yesterday because I was a guest on a podcast yesterday. So I turned on my Yeti and it was like, what's that noise? Gee, it's coming from the Yeti. And then I found the cord. So it was just enough that it was she had bit through. Yeah.
Oh no, bro.
I mean, we love our pets.
Yeah.
We love our
See, when that kind of stuff happens, so you have to think about we love our pets.
We love our pets. And in fact, this morning I was sitting there in my prayer time, and they were both sitting just like right across from me, kind of like, Mom, aren't you done yet? So I'm going to make a friend of mine said that you can make a reel with photographs. So I'm going to take a couple of pictures of them running around. I'm going to make a little reel about them because it was just Daisy was like, aren't you done yet?
And you know what? When you post that, you're probably gonna get a lot of views because people love babies and cats.
babies and cats. So I'm going to do cats and dogs, and then do a little poll: cats or dogs or both.
See, you'll flood with people. I'm telling you, it's weird.
Why I'm telling you that? I mean, number one, my cat. I love my cat, and she'll be popping up here any minute.
Yeah, I thought I see the tail, but yeah.
Not yet. But I swear she's on the screen somewhere. Anyways, but I thought we would talk about today. Yesterday, I was on two different podcasts yesterday.
Okay.
And but one of them was we were talking about, and pretty much on both of them, that's how relevant this subject is.
Okay. Is
raising your energy.
And
I'm not talking just your physical energy. I mean, yes, we have to do that. That's where it starts. But raising your vibrational energy. We need to do it. And guess who's in charge?
Us.
I
knew you was going to say us. I knew it.
Us. So, but then people look at me and go, but Barb, how do you do that? Well, right now, if you are listening to this, and welcome, I'm so glad you're here. But right now, be mindful that you're listening. Put everything else down, because being mindful means being present in the in the moment, in the present, where you are right now, and just do your best to stay there. Because if you're not present right here now, you're either worrying about the past or worrying about the future. Can you do anything about the past? The past is gone. Can you do anything to impact the future? Well, you can do stuff to impact the future, but you can't change the future right now. Like, you can't take a breath for tomorrow.
You know, it's funny because this is like deja vu. I feel like I had a conversation, or I heard somebody somewhere in a podcast or net or something saying the same thing you're saying right now, Barbara.
It is so, we have got so much anxiety, depression, people harming themselves, and it's part of it is all because we are not present in this moment right now. So if you're listening to this and you have some things going on in your life that are just, we all do. So right now, take this moment to just take a breath. You know, my take a breath of life. Take a breath. You know, and check in with yourself. Check in with right now. Because on any given moment, we have the choice to be happy. And the thing is, people think about, I'll be happy when. Oh, I'll be happy when when my business is making $10,000 a month. Or I'll be happy when my kids are back in school. Or I'll be happy when my husband gets a promotion. Or I'll be happy when I retire. Or I'll be happy when fill in the blank.
You're right.
And how often have we done that? The thing is, is that's future. You're not, that's not right now. Right now, you are alive and well and doing, right at this moment. And you might be having trouble breathing, you might be in pain, whatever, but you are here. And the future is unlimited. That's what's the cool things. The future is unlimited. The future is whatever you're going to make it, but you can decide right in this moment. But that takes practice.
Well, it takes practice, and it goes back to what I always say, Barbara, where I always tell people, you can choose.
Yeah.
And you have to choose, because you can choose either way. You can choose the way down the road, like you said, of sorrow me, and oh boy, I'm going through, and back in the day, and now I'm not here yet, and I wish I had. You can go through all of that, but where's that going to take you? So you have to choose this to the path to say, I'm right now in present time. First of all, appreciate the present time.
Right.
Appreciate that we're still talking, we're breathing, we're everything else. That's the one thing that we all need to do.
Yeah, be grateful.
The energy pumps up after that. You're right.
Right.
So,
and I'm going to tell, I believe in being totally authentic. Last week I was kind of watching a quite young person who is just on fire. Just, all over, just doing all sorts of stuff. Just, just all the accolades, all the income, and all the openings that they've had for their business, and da 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 da. And so it was like, and I was talking to another friend of mine, and we were just chit-chatting about this, that it crosses your mind, and I don't care who you are, it crosses your mind, oh, why can't that be me? Or I wish I had done it when I was 30. And in one of the moments last week where, I'll be honest, it was like, I wish I had done this in my 30s. Number one, the opportunities weren't there as much as they are now. Okay. So the thing is, though, I realized in that moment that I am here for this time, this space, this audience, for now, for such a time as this. Because at my age, there are so many people coming up that need help to navigate retirement with ease and with grace. And how many people do you know that retired and within 2 years they had died?
Yes.
And it's because they don't know how to navigate retirement. They don't know how to age gracefully.
Wow.
And it was, Barbara,
that's deep.
That's why you are here, to
That's
help
deep.
people to age gracefully. We can do it. We don't have to end our life in a hospital room. I mean, sometimes that will happen, absolutely, because accidents happen and things like that. But there's lots of things you can do to prevent it. And that's what I'm here for. And it was like, oh, you're right. Barbara, quit beating yourself up for not doing it when you were 30.
Well, just like you said, Barbara, we're all here at an appointed time. We're here doing because there's a reason, there's a purpose. I always say the purpose again. There's a purpose for you being right here at this exact time, doing what you're doing and helping who you're helping. So that's very important. That's powerful what you said. Yes.
And that goes back to there being 7 billion people on the planet. Well, how many of them are aging? Okay, one of the statistics that I did look up, right at this moment in the US, over 40% of the population is over 35. Okay, so over 35, 40, at least between 35 and 75, 40% of the population. Well, when do we start aging?
What, around 40s?
Nope, 25.
Really? Wow.
Our body, the human body, starts to age at 25. And it's because it stops producing as much collagen. And you've heard me expound on collagen before, but that's why it happens, because it doesn't make as much of it on its own. We do always continue to make collagen, but we don't do it as much. Well, guess what? All of the fat pads in our joints are made of collagen. So that's why it starts at 25. That's why with me, for myself, I hit my late 30s and I was feeling my back, my knees, my hips. And there were days where I could hardly walk. I crawled to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized, okay, I've got to do something about this, because if I'm like this in my early 40s, by the time I was 42, that was my life. I could hardly walk. And I would push myself all week and collapse on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good way to live.
No. Wow.
Anyways,
25. I'm still like, wow.
Yeah, at 25. And this is a medical fact. It has nothing to do with what business you're in or what, I happen to be in wellness, but that's why I know it, because it's a medical fact.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is so that's why, like, by the time I was in my early 40s, well, guess what? Guess where my body had taken the collagen from my joints that it needs for the essential organs.
So what it will do is, if you're not supplementing different parts,
it'll take it from other cells in your body. Well, guess what? It starts with most of the time it starts with your joints. But then it'll start taking collagen from your heart muscle or your brain. Dementia. It's because we are not getting collagen and cleaning out our brains.
Wow.
They're now calling it diabetes 3. It's like, it's amazing to me. And I don't want to turn this into a wellness show, but right at this moment,
it's just some good information. It
was like, people, this is a medical fact.
See, this is what I love. I mean, not to cut you off, but like you said, I know you don't turn to a health thing, but this is the awareness part that we need, though. Right. See, that's what I love about our shows, what you do and what I do, is that we bring awareness to people, and so they can start making and thinking and making those decisions.
And make a decision.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until you're 80 and,
Yeah. I mean, just like I said, you are my mentor of mentors, Barbara, because every time, and then I just look at you and it's like, oh my God, she can beat any 25, 30-year-old today. You are like just on it. You travel. I mean, you're on motorcycles, you're on the boat, I mean, you're living the life. And you're an example for people, like you said, that's aging, that's up there. There's our mascot.
And here's my I just didn't be around. I've tried and now it's like I just let her come in. She knows when I'm on Zoom.
Oh yeah, that's why I said she's our mascot. So, but I'm just saying, you're a leader. Just going back to you, giving you your flowers and props here. That to me, you're a leader in that, because you're showing people, just because you're a certain age, that don't mean you don't have to. You can't live, or you can't do things. You can't be energized and doing what you need to do. Yeah. And
and it's like, okay, and so if that's something you're interested in, hey, shameless plug here, reach out to me. Let's chat. It's a free call. It's a free call. I might be able to help you. I might not. And that's okay. But you know what? If I can't help you, I'll refer you to somebody that can, because you might need energy work, or you might need something else. That's not what this is about. This is about, hey, I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. Well, part of happiness is being mentally fit and being physically fit and being financially fit, which is where you and I come in, that we can help people to increase. I love the fact of social media. You help people to increase their social media. I've gotten so many tips from you.
Oh.
It's like,
that's good to hear. Like I said, it's good to hear that there's some value coming out of what I'm saying. But I just, like you said, Barbara, going back to the awareness, and going back to being present. And one thing that I've learned, just you brought up social media real quick, is one thing that I learned through what I do And I was getting this from clients. I mean, they were really telling me their needs, and that's a good thing. That's a good side note that you need to understand the people's challenges and problems to see where you could help them. So when I was listening, it was like, I just don't get it, or I don't know what to do, or I'm confused, or I don't know how to create this on social. I mean, all that was going on, Barbara. And you know what told me? I said, you know what? It's not only they need to know about social media, they need to understand a strategic way to approach it. And that's when I changed my whole thing of what I do as far as my product a little bit. I said, I need to start from the basics here. Right. And start letting them know. I said, okay, first of all, who are you? What do you bring to the table? Right. How do you help people? Going back to that, who's your ideal client? And then from that point on, let's see where you can fit in the social media realm. Right. You might be way out somewhere else, and you shouldn't even be over there.
Thank you. Exactly. Pick pick where you're going to be effective. Okay, but
build from there. Yeah.
It seems how I know you and I love you, and you're a social media. Okay, people, there's no dumb questions. So I'm right at this moment. I'm thinking, I can't believe I'm going to ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
No dumb questions.
There's no dumb questions. Exactly. Okay. On my Facebook profile, now there has been some major changes.
Yeah,
there has been. So now, how do I take a post that I have put up on my business page, and I can't find now. I mean, I'm like, Barbara, what's wrong with you? What that, and then we start beating ourselves up. What's wrong with you that you can't find this? I said, I'm going to ask Barb, and I'm going to do it on the show because I cannot be the only one that has asked this. How do I get something from my business page to share onto my personal profile? Or do I need to have another personal page?
Well, yeah, usually with you can hook up your business page. Like if you want things going to your profile, you can do a setting, and you can post, like anytime you post on your business, you can put on your personal.
So okay. Well, yeah, that's not going to happen without help, because you just lost me.
But see, a lot of
settings.
but just to give you a clear, now this is a little coaching here. So
this is coaching, and I want it, and there's got to be somebody else out there for it.
Hear it. We're talking to just not Barbara here, but other people. Yeah. But I always tell people, your personal Facebook and your business Facebook pages, you have to treat them a little bit different. Because the personal, you can throw some things on there about business here and there, but usually what Meta, it's changed, that they want you to use your Facebook business page all for your business. You can sell things on, you can do a lot of things that you cannot do on your personal. Plus, if you put too much stuff that they see that you're selling, or you're really doing a lot of commercials about yourself, they will shut you down, and you don't want that.
That's on your personal profile.
That's on your personal. So you got to make sure that, I always tell people, because sometimes they start loading up their personal Facebook with a lot of business type of stuff. Not saying you can't post anything, but you got to be very careful. And they're like, well, I'm putting everything on my personal. I said, I need to let you know, if you're really going to be doing your business, you need to have a Facebook business page and put all that there, and move people to that point. Yeah.
Okay, so which I've got, because we post this show onto my business page.
Yeah, that's what I do every week.
But how do I wanted to put this, like, about this show onto my personal. Mm-hmm. I can't get that. For some reason, or maybe must be just in my settings then.
Yeah, we can check your settings, and then also, if that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to just post a separate post in your personal one, or share it. You can share from your business to your personal.
That's what I've been trying to do, is share, and it won't share. It won't share to my profile. It'll share to other pages that I have, but it won't share to my personal profile.
Okay, so we got to check your settings, because you should be.
So it wasn't a dumb question.
No question. No question is a dumb question. None. Because I always tell people this, and this is true, Barbara. if you need to know, you need to know. So it's not a dumb question.
Listen.
It's something that you need to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad for that question. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, because I mean, you're the expert, and I was sitting there, and yesterday I was really kind of getting a little bit. It's like, what is that voice in your head that says, "What's wrong with you that you're not getting this?" And it was like, Barbara. After the second time, it was like I thought it. I went, Barbara, you know, a social media expert. Just ask.
Oh, see, and that's what we're here for. Just
And
like
that's
all
what we're
health,
here for.
everything about the health, what you're talking about, the college and all that kind of stuff. I'm always looking. Every time I need an answer, I go to Barbara all the time because I know you know.
That's, you know, and if I don't know, I'll find out. And you're the same way. And you're the same way. And it's like, oh, it has been such a blessing to be on this show. And we've been on over 2 years. Let's brag, Chris. We have been on over 2 years.
I love what you did. You said you always say, "Wait a minute, we've been now it's over." That's what we can say. It's
Now
not
it's
even
over 2
it's
years.
over 2 years. You know, and that says, you know what? Going to saying that before we go to a break, a quick break. Consistency. You know, I was listening the other day. Somebody was talking about it's not consistent that helps you. It's something else they said. It's just what you produce, your value. And I'm thinking it's both to me. You have to be consistent because people have to see that I feel like that you're, you know, on target on things, that, you know, that you're taking accountability on what you're doing. So the consistency helps. And then also, giving value of what you're talking about is important. So I think consistency and giving value is really important. They were saying, oh, consistency is not that important. I'm like, I don't agree with that.
What's wrong for you, Ender? Yeah. I mean, it's like, in fact, yesterday, one of the podcasts that I was on, we were just talking about consistency. But the funny part that came out of it was sort of the same conversation. And yet one of the things after David passed away, I binged watched all 10 years of Frasier. That was the only thing I really remember doing after when I was in my widow's fog. Okay. You can go on to like Friendly TV or all sorts of the other streamers. You can still see Frasier. So that's what consistency brings. They consistently did a good show for 10 years. And now they are still reaping the benefits of it.
Now.
20 years later. Because David's been gone 11 years next month. And it had been off. I had watched the reruns back then. So it had been off. I can't remember when it went off the air. But that's the power of consistency. Doing something and then you get known for it, and people still go back and watch Frasier. Yeah.
And that's a good example, Barbara, because I mean, because I'm the Netflix person too. Yeah. And if you want to go back to shows like you said, Frasier or whatever, and it really, it kind of blows my mind sometimes, because some shows that I didn't get a chance to see back in the day, like you said, it's like, I think I know it's on Netflix somewhere. Let me check. Let me just search, So I search for it and I see all these seasons that they've done. And I'm
all
like,
seasons.
They really did 12 seasons. How did I miss all that?
It's like going back and watching MASH.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Barbara. It's like, oh my God, they have all these things. So it's like, that shows me right there. Look at how the credibility, how they just pushed. They made sure that they continuously did their work. And then I thought about, us as business people,
that's us.
Staying on target and being consistent at what we do. And then, people look at you, potential clients and stuff, and say, hey, they're on the ball here.
They're
doing it back and forth, like, okay, they're here, and then a few days or and then maybe they come back and whatever. No, it's like, you're consistent with what you're doing.
Right. It's so important.
Yeah, it's so important. Well, we're going to take just a little small break, and then we will be back. And I'm looking for my sponsor here. Here they go. We'll be back.
There we go.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
We're back.
I have to say, that Chemo Buddies for Life, it is such a good organization. And I'm thinking I'm being led to that. I need to join that, because David died of cancer.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Okay. He had, and the sad thing is we didn't know there was anything wrong until it was too late.
Oh, Barbara, I know you were.
It was too late.
Wow.
Didn't know there was anything wrong. So, okay, guys, and this is for men, the only symptom that David had was that he was urinating more often and his stream was not as strong. That was the only symptom. And he just thought it was his prostate. Oh, I'm getting older. Mm-hmm. No, it was a tumor growing in his bladder. And then the tumor had little fingers and one of the fingers went through the bladder wall. And he had cancer everywhere.
Oh, wow. See?
Yeah. So guys, go and have your prostate checked. Absolutely. Yep. Have a test. It's well worth it.
That's one of the things that the doctor always says about men is they need to make sure they're doing. I know they don't like to do it sometimes, but it's good. Right. It'd be better to do it to find out if anything's, needed.
And it comes back to awareness. That was an awareness tip for somebody.
Yeah.
So that was an awareness tip.
You're bringing out a lot of good stuff, a lot of golden nuggets today, Barbara.
Let's be happy. So, yeah. But anyways, but one of the other things of just raising your energy, because that was kind of the premise of the show today. Raising your energy, be around positive people. Quit being around negative Nellies. We all have them. Absolutely. But you know what? Limit.
Nellies or birds. I'm just using that as an analogy.
Yeah. You just, and once in a while, sometimes you have to. And that's okay. However, I think a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the balancing positive and negative. For every negative, you need 3 positives. So if you've got a negative friend, be around 3 of your positive friends. Yes. And if you don't have 3 positive friends, find them. That's it. Listen to a positive podcast. Listen to an inspirational podcast. If you don't have a friend, that you think is on the positive side and you want to be positive, hey, there's other ways of doing it until you find the positive person.
Yes.
Or reach out.
Yes.
Reach out to people. Facebook is called the social network for a reason. Join a happiness club. Join a happiness group. Like one of the groups that I joined it's called Sassy Seniors.
I love it.
Because they put in jokes. And that's where I think I sent you the meme about it. One of the girls had posted it. And it was about, I've just decided that I'm just never going to get older than 30. And it was just this little, and she's 30, and it was just the cutest meme and it made me laugh.
See, and that's, and Barbara, you're going back to raising the energy, like you're saying. It seems like that's the topic for right today. That being around the individuals that create that positive energy. And I know sometimes, okay, we're going to be real here too. Sometimes you're not going to always feel happy.
You're not going to feel it.
Whatever. But that's why it's so important to be around others, because when you're not feeling a certain way and you're around others that remind you and encourage you, then your energy starts to pull back up again. And it goes back and forth. I mean, it helps everybody. Right. You never know when a person's feeling a certain way. So that's why that's why you need the positive, so we can get that frequency up, like you said, that energy frequency up with you.
And one suggestion, and I have been guilty of not adhering to this, but when somebody that and it's like, how are you? How are you? And they say, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. That's a warning. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh. And just ask some other question that that if you feel good about asking them about, oh, well, gee, what does that mean for you today? Or whatever, because everybody's different and your friend. This is you don't do this to strangers. But although I've been known to, because sometimes one day I was sitting in Walmart. I was looking at yarn in Walmart. And this is not to blow my own horn, but for right at this second, it's just it'll be a learning. I was looking at yarn because I make, I think I told you, I make baby blankets. So I was buying baby yarn. Oh. And this woman was standing there, and she was just standing there looking and she wasn't moving. She wasn't really looking. She was just standing there, but she was staring at the yarn. And I just kind of went, are you okay?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, I'm fine. There's that word.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm fine. And I said, well, is there anything I can help you with? And the tears started. Oh. And she said, my sister has cancer and I want to make her something. And I said, well, one of the things that is really good when my mom, so then you wanted to bring it lighter. So I said, one of the times when my mom in her 70s fell and broke her leg. And when she went into the walking cast, it was winter. So we decided that we were going to make her a sock to go over her cast to keep her toes warm. And we said we bought the brightest multicolored yarn that we could find to make her a sock for over her foot. Mm-hmm. This woman looked at me and said, that's a really good idea. I'm going to make her a scarf.
Oh, see?
Of something bright and cheerful.
Pretty, yeah.
And not only did it help her to raise her energy, but it got her out of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we all feel that way, where we are absolutely stopped.
Yeah.
And can't even think the next thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where when somebody says to you, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. No, you're not fine. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah.
And they're either going to say yes or no.
Yes or no, yeah. But at least you know what? They'll really, I believe, 95% of the time they appreciate you saying, how can I help you? Can I help you with anything? Or something that I can do or anything? Just any little thing. And, because that shows that, first of all, you're caring, you're concerned, and you just want, you just want to just be there for that person at that time. You're taking your time out to be with, to talk to that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that you heard.
Yeah. That's something.
That little cry.
Yeah.
That little cry.
Yeah.
Even though they said the word that I'm fine. Or I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything I can help you with? So that's our lesson for today of raising your energy. Because you know what? After that, I'll be honest, I felt so good because it raised her energy.
And then it raised yours.
And because I had helped raise her energy, that she was better able to cope with the fact that she had just found out that her dearest sister, had the big C word. And And it just absolutely threw her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all have things like that go on in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was a stranger.
That's why I always tell people, even through, a lot of times people say, well, I don't have time to really talk, have a conversation, like get on the phone and talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you know what? Don't use as an excuse not to reach out to somebody. You can always send a smiley face, a heart, there's so many things, memes that you can do and say, just thinking of you, or how's your day? That doesn't take much. It doesn't take, it's probably less than a minute that you can sit there and do that through your people that you have contacts, because you never know who you're going to hit. Maybe they're having that day, like you said, Barbara, and they're like, and they see a heart from you, or they see a little meme saying hi. They'll be like, wow, they took the time out just to send me this meme.
And you can cut and paste that 20 times in like 3 minutes.
Just don't tell them that, but yeah, you can do that. They don't need to know that part of it. Yeah.
I swear that's why they invented copy and paste.
Copy and paste. That's what I told people. That's your friend. Copy and paste is your friend, and repurposing is your friend. I keep telling people that. Use it. Use it. Yeah, but yeah, every time, like this time you reach out, you say, hey, how you doing? Or, hope your day's going well and everything like that. And I'd be like, wow, first of all, it's always nice to hear from you, besides the show every third Tuesday. And then second, you took the time. See, I always think to myself, how everybody's talking about they have a lot of stuff going on in their life. They're busy. Like that's the word of the century. I know that.
Right.
But when I see that somebody takes the time to reach out to me and just says hello, or like I said, send whatever, I cherish that, because I know you had to take some time to do that.
Right.
So I appreciate that, and I'm really thankful. Yeah.
So if somebody right now, if you're listening to this, share it out. And so that's my call to action. Share it out. However, if somebody comes into your brain, don't say, oh, I'll send that later.
Do it.
Do it now. It will take you. And one of the things that I have done, and this is a tip. Okay. What I have done on my phone, I have got whole bunches of memes. I have one that's a smiley face on a lollipop stick that says, hi, I've got I've got all sorts of different ones. Thinking of you. I'm proud of you. Okay. I've put them in a folder on my phone. So all I do is go and open up my pictures, put across favorites. All my favorites come up. Bam. Doink, 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 doink. I've sent 20 messages.
And that took probably less than what? Maybe a minute and a half, somewhere like that. Doesn't even take that long. And then you don't know how, like I said, again, how many people you're touching that they come back and they're like, wow, I needed this. Right. This is what I needed. Right. You never know what they need at that point in time. But if you stop and you say, I'll send it later, that's okay.
Later is too late.
Yeah, later might be too late. You don't want.
A friend of mine had an example of that when Pat was killed.
Oh, Barbara.
And she had to say to me, she said, gee, Barb, I had the inclination to reach out to Pat on Friday.
I know that was hard.
And Pat was killed on Saturday. She said, and because she said, I remember distinctly saying, oh, I'll text Pat on Monday. Well, Saturday, Pat was killed. And so that's going to be, she's not dwelling on it, but that was something that she had the nudge to reach out. Said, I'll do it later. Don't ever do it later. And we've all been guilty of it. And I'm not,
we're not trying to jump in and beat you up.
I'm trying to be better. And it's all back to what we're talking about today, raising your vibration and being aware.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, just like this is going back to what we said too about being in the present.
Being in the present.
So being in the present is if somebody's name pops in your head, and it's nudging you a little bit, because that happens. That happens to me a lot. I know that happens to you because we believe in God and in spirit, in spirit realm. That's what happens. Then at that time, that's nudging you to tell you, okay, send something, either a phone call or something has to happen, because it's right there at that time.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just so have those, you know, and just take, I mean, it'll take you maybe 15 or 20 minutes to get 10 memes. See, things, just pick out ones that are all in things that you would say to people. Like with me, I just say, hi, I'm proud of you. I'm thinking of you, you know, whatever. I have a couple that I send to my sons, you know, whatever the family part is, you know, just have them, put them in a folder on your phone. Favorites, memes. And then all you do is go into your favorites and click the one that you want and send it. It's a fast, easy.
They make it easy. Yeah. You know, we have so many things out now, like you said, that we didn't have when we were, like you said, younger, Barbara, that now you have so many things you can use to communicate and to send stuff to people real quickly. But, you know, Barbara, on a side note here, I never asked you this question. How many children do you have? Because
I have 2 boys.
You have two boys?
One is almost 50. Don't I look too young to have a 50-year-old?
Yes, you do. Oh, God. When you see, Barbara, here you go again. It's like, wow.
He's going to be 50 in June. And I have a grandson that's 33.
You just don't look like. See, you're just a rocking mother and the grandmother. Now, how old is your other son? Because you see,
my other son is 5 years younger, so he's 45. He's going to be 45.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that is amazing.
He's my baby boy. We went out for breakfast a week ago, and well, it was lunch. We got there at 12:30. We closed the place at 3.
Oh, wow.
Like, all right, we've got to go. I guess they're gonna kick us out.
We got to go.
You know, but yeah. So and so that's part of. Okay, so let's continue. Let's also too about raising your vibration. Do things you enjoy.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now is that the okay? To minute. Now that's the son that you went out to breakfast, lunch, like you said. Is that the one that you have to get on a schedule? Remember, I know you said one of your sons.
Oh yeah, he's the one that we have to plan.
That's the planner.
Oh yeah, he's the planner.
Because it's like if you just throw it out, you know, just like all of a sudden he's like, I don't work that way.
He will do it, but it gives him stress.
Oh man.
It stresses him out because he's a planner. So he tends to have plans. So with me, it's like, okay, fine. So when we set up a time, it's like, okay. And so he just clears his schedule for that day. So then whatever happens. So then as we were ending our, you know, because we got there at 12:30. Well, we were still there at 3. So, and then we're of course standing in the parking lot because it was a beautiful day. So we stood in the parking lot and so I said to him, I said, so what's on your agenda for the rest of the day? Just to see. I said, what's on your agenda for the rest of the day? And he said, well, you know, I didn't really plan anything. He said, I'm just going to play it by ear because he knows. in case mom and I, you know, we get a inspiration to just go do something else. He has opened up that space of time.
He's learned through the years that he's like, okay, if it's with mom, I need to make sure I just and that's good too. You know, that helps him kind of, you know, just, you know,
exactly.
You know, be a little loose.
Because right, for me to spring something on him.
What you said, no.
You know, and the sad part was when I would do that because I didn't know any better. Didn't know any better to not spring things on him. It would be like I always got the feeling that he said, well, Mom, I've got plans. Well, don't you want to be with me? Because I always took it personally. Well, don't you want to be with me? Well, Mom, no, Mom, it's not that I don't want to be with you, but I already have plans that I can't change. So then once I learned personality science and knew that he was the planner and I'm the non-planner, well, I'm much better now. Oh, you wouldn't believe how much better I am. I'm just,
Well, you know, because you know now. Like you said,
now I'm growing in the other parts that I needed to grow in.
Yeah.
And now it has made all the difference, even in just my social media stuff, in my business stuff, because it's like, oh yeah, planning is not the bad word that I always thought it was.
but you know, like you said, going back, because I love what you do with that too, with the whole personality, is that you get to understand the person, and instead of being upset or saddened by what their actions are doing, you understand where they're at in their personality. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is not about me. This is about how they are. And I got to understand how they work. Just like they got to understand how you work.
Right. That's like yesterday, I do pre-interviews to come on for people to come on shows. And this is how we get our guests. I mean, but I make sure I always talk to our guests before they come on, because that's something that I want. Well, yesterday I was talking to a potential guest, and I said, so do you like doing podcasts? She went, no. Okay. We had a wonderful conversation just about what she does do. But I was looking for podcast hosts, a podcast guest. And that wasn't, she says, no. She's like, I have done it, but I didn't really like doing it. Now I just choose not to.
So she doesn't like being in, she doesn't like to be on it at all.
She does. And you know what? But she is great at what she does. And she was one of the people that I talked to about raising their energy. That's one of the things that she does. But she doesn't do it on podcasts. But she lives in Australia.
Wow.
So I just thought that was going to be great for our show to give us a little bit of international exposure. Yeah. And because that's one of the things that I want for us. So I'm actively looking at people that are international.
Yeah.
It was just the funniest thing. She just went, no. So all you have to do is ask.
You know what would be, and okay, this is a little sneaky, but this works because this worked for another lady. Because I talked to some people too that are like, I'm not really in the podcast, right? Yeah. So what I did is I was talking to them. We were having a comment because I don't call interviews. I call them a conversation with people.
Yeah, that's conversations.
So we were just having this conversation, but I was recording it. And then afterwards I showed it to her and I said, now we just really did a podcast. And she's like, we were on live? She said, Barbara, I thought you just recorded. I said, no, we didn't go to Facebook or anything. No. Mm-hmm. I'm just letting you know that we just did a podcast because all we were having was a conversation. You were telling me about what you do. You're telling me how you help people. I was telling you how I help people. We were kind of like in that zone and stuff.
Right.
And she said, I feel more comfortable with that because first of all, I didn't know. That's what she was telling me. She said, I didn't know you were doing it. And we were just having this a casual conversation. And I said, yeah. So she said, you know what? If you want to use that for your show, because I don't want to come on, because she never wanted to come on live or anything.
No, right.
But she said, but if you want to use that, because she said, I felt comfortable, you felt comfortable. We were talking about things. She said, I don't mind you doing that as long as I have to come live. That's what she told me. Mm-hmm. And I said, she gave me permission. And I was like, thank you, because I really want people to know who you are, because you're very important in this world and you're a world changer. That's what I told her. And she felt comfortable with that part. So sometimes there's a way to get around it and explain to them, that we just did this. All I need is your permission. If you just want to, I can show it live on the show so people get to know you.
Right. Yeah. And if they want to use it for themselves.
Yes. I sent her a copy. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And she was able to post it on her Facebook. Not Facebook, her website.
Yeah.
And then she said, Barbara, I loved it because people started to get to know me more because they seen the conversation that we had. And I'm like, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah. I think once you would explain, Barbara, I'm noticing this, and I know we got to close out, but I noticed when you explain to people the why, that I think that helps, for them to understand more of why things are being done or the reason, the reason why things are being done, and it will help them. Yeah.
And it helps them. Right. Yeah. And you know what? One of the things that I have found for myself, when I explain something to someone else about what I'm doing, it cements it more in me.
Yes. That's good. I'm glad you brought that up.
You can teach somebody else something that you're doing.
Yes. It's just, it makes it more powerful within yourself when you're saying, because you're kind of talking to yourself too, saying, okay, this is what I do. I'm getting, I'm explaining to them. Yeah. I love that. You're so right. Yeah. So that's why I like to explain to people stuff about me at times. Well, Barbara, I know we got to go, lady, but any last thoughts for today. This was a wonderful conversation. What we had.
Thank you. Yeah, just be aware of raising your, because you might not wait. And sometimes raising your vibration starts before you go to bed. Huge thing. Go to bed listening to something positive, uplifting, inspirational, whatever it is, because when you do that during the night, your subconscious does not sleep. So during the night, and ask yourself a question. What can I do tomorrow to raise my vibration? Or what can I do tomorrow to help somebody? Or what can I do tomorrow to be more positive? Well, when you ask your subconscious a question, guess what it wants to do? Answer it.
Yes.
So while you're sleeping, your subconscious is going to be looking for ways for you to answer the 3 questions you just asked it.
And then after, okay, I'm going to add some of that, and then closing. Yeah. And after you answer it, then do the other A word. Take action.
Take action.
Take action. Okay, Miss Barbara, you've been always a pleasure being a co-host with you. Love you so much.
This was fun to do it just us.
I know. I told you we got to do it more often. I mean, you gotta look up in time, and I'm like, dang, time went.
Time. That's what I said. It's like, oh, dang, it's what time.
See everybody next week.
Have a good one.